I'm certain if we were to count up all of the teaching experience of everyone taking this training, it would be in the hundreds of years. Tens of thousands of hours of grading, lesson planning, discussions, of mentoring our students that goes into this work and that is held within our collective experience. I find it very inspiring. And when I think about teaching, I obviously think about learning as well. So our students, the students who sit before us in our classrooms. To begin, I'd like to focus your attention on a single student from all your years of teaching, one that you truly admired. This could be a student who inspired you, who challenged you, who changed your perception, your worldview, perhaps gave you a reason to show up every day even when you didn't feel like it. Hold this image and perhaps jot down a few ideas, memories, characteristics that this student had. I think it's easy to lose sight of these stories when we feel disempowered for whatever reason. In our institutions, in our departments, before state policy. But we should never forget that we have a true power to not only educate, but to inspire, to guide, to mentor. And that, that one thing that you tell a student, that one phrase, that one sentence, that one word of encouragement can really make all the difference in the world. And we should never, ever forget that. This is not to say that the challenges are any less real. They are real, and we have to grapple with them as well. In the following clip from a documentary series by the New York Times, you'll meet a student named Vladimir de Jesus, who is a community college student, and he is facing a number of challenges on the road towards a degree.
My father believes in power to the people. My name comes from Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. My name is Vladimir de Jesus. I'm an art major here in LaGuardia Community College. Art is my religion. Art is definitely my major. It's my favorite thing. It's the way of life for me. I want to become an art professor one day. It's been so hard.
LaGuardia Community College students tend to be poor. Many of our students are parents. We have homeless students. We have students who come hungry. So students have a lot of issues that impinge on their ability to be good students.
I live in Roosevelt Island. When you're on the east side of Roosevelt Island and you're looking into the Queens side, you can see LaGuardia Community College, cross over to the west side of Roosevelt Island and see Hunter College, which is definitely where I want to be at. It's like a motivation.
Vladimir's story is an iconic community college story.
I want to put some like a mask, and I want to throw like realistic roses.
He has very high aspirations and he's motivated to succeed, but he also struggles because he has not had a life that's been filled with the kind of support and academic clarity that frankly richer kids get.
2008, I started the journey of college, and shortly after, I decided to take care of my daughter full-time. When she started school, that's when I returned to school. A lot of obstacles in the way, it's everyday struggles, from stresses to bills and waking up in a depression or not having enough money to even make it to school.
We have a bias, I think, in America to think of college as if it was 1962 and everybody was getting in mom and dad's Woody, the wood-paneled station wagon. They were driving, junior off to spend 4 bucolic years in a residence hall. That's not today's American college students. Community colleges could alleviate so much of the disparity, the inequality, but we spend about a third less on those first 2 years, on the hardest to serve students, than we do on students who go to places like Brown or the University of Michigan. We have allowed community colleges to become separate and unequal.
A key challenge for me is mathematics. And I wish I didn't have to take it, but I do. The title of the class is called Math 96, Remedial Math. And it's like an intro to algebra almost.
I don't know about you, but I haven't done a quadratic equation in a long time, nor have I used one in my job as a college president. So one of the challenges at LaGuardia is we're trying to rethink, do we really need that kind of math? Could a college-level statistics course be better for people like Vladimir, who wants to be an artist?
I'm not taking math this semester, so I can focus more on just every other class and just keep my GPA up, but let that be the last thing you do. Art is where it all goes away. Light, reflection. You know, when you can just look up and breathe and just be at peace. Peace of mind, that's what it is.
I think a good way to reflect on student experiences through empathy mapping. So empathy mapping is a tool that's used by developers to design better products, but I think it's a really good tool to begin to unpack the student experience. So the user in this case would be the student, and so if we think about Vladimir, what does he say, think, do, and feel in our classrooms and on our campuses? As we can see from the video, Vladimir faces personal, academic, and institutional challenges. This is true of all of our students, and some of them are better at confronting these, overcoming them, and advocating for what they need in the end. I also believe this can be applied to educators. Like those we teach, we are also facing personal and institutional challenges and must continue to enter our classrooms and, as Breeza Pearson says, teach anyway. So we can also serve in this critical space of demonstrating and modeling resilience for our students and helping students like Vladimir better navigate our courses and our systems. In the College Fear Factor, Rebecca Cox surveyed 120 community college students, noting that many felt misunderstood by the professors and suffered from imposter syndrome as a result. She goes on to argue in this book that there are several crucial pedagogical practices that we can use to help address this disconnect between teacher and student. Namely, we need to clarify our expectations of students and provide clear guidance as to how to successfully complete the assignments that we give out. She also points, though, more interestingly, to our role in persuading students that they can indeed succeed and that they are capable. Here what we're talking about is the academic but also the social emotional needs of our students. Parker Palmer called this the outer and inner landscapes of teaching and learning. Laura Rendon called this senti pensante pedagogy, or sensing thinking pedagogy. The AACU offered a definition of integrative learning, calling for reaching across courses over time and between campus and community life. So working together in teams can really help break down institutional silos, allow us to work in a more transdisciplinary and organic way, and it models collaboration and interdependence for our students, which are two key skills we know for them in college and also in their future workplaces. So for the session reflection, I want you to think about 3 questions. The first is, who is a student you admire and why? And if you did the writing practice earlier on in this module, you've already completed that one. The second is what classroom practices you use to engage with the social and emotional needs of your students. And the third is, how do you think these inner and outer worlds or landscapes apply to the development of the teacher as well? So we were thinking about the student in this module, but in terms of applying some of these principles to the teacher, what would that look like? How do they apply?